Well, for all the Citizen EcoZilla fans out there, we have a couple of new colorways. Big thanks to Richard at Saltzman's for sending this guy over. This is, of course, a blue dial, kind of a purple blue dial with a yellow minute hand yellow accents and this bold yellow strap. There's also a more militant looking one. I think it's green. It might even be a coated case. I can't remember. I'll put a link down below to Saltzman's and the direct contact information so you can get a hold of Richard. Tell him I sent you for the best deal possible. So let's zoom in a little bit, and then we'll talk about the size of this thing. Whoa, can't zoom in like I normally do. This thing's a big watch. It's going to look like way too close in the screen, right? So case size on this, if we measure from side to side, is 48.3 millimeter. Yeah, that's right, 48 mil. However, the lug to lug, because the straps basically go into the case, I don't know, is it like 34.5 millimeter? It's really narrow. Basically, there's no lug to lug, right? So thickness, about 18 mil, depending on where you measure from. I measure from the bottom all the way up to this top part here, instead of the cutouts, which are like reverse rider tabs for the bezel action, which I'll show you that in a moment. Let's see, that's the thickness crown. It's a destro crown off on the left-hand side, measuring at 6.4 millimeter. Very easy to operate, no big deals there. And weight. Yes, it has some weight. Not terrible considering its size, though, about 180 gram. 60 click bezel, and like I said, these reverse rider tabs, they're pretty easy to use. Basically, you just get the meat of your finger in there, and you just kind of rotate it around. It's just a very simple 60 click. No problems operating it. I mean, you could probably even do it. Yeah, you can kind of do it with one, but 2 fingers better. And there you go, back into position. So you can see it ticking away. Pretty much hits the marks. It is a solar-driven quartz movement using the caliber BJ8058-06L. It's a very popular movement within the Citizen lineup. Three-handed with the date at the 3 o'clock position, although it's very diminutive. Like you can kind of tell that's a 10. So I don't know. At this point, Citizen, I mean, either put a bigger cutout with a bigger date or just exclude it. At least it doesn't interrupt the cardinal position at 3 o'clock too much, but I would rather just go with a no date at this point with this style watch. We don't really need the date with this watch because quite frankly, most people are probably not going to wear this watch every day anyway. And if that's the case for most watch wearers, they don't really care if it has a date necessarily. Here's a look at the case back. And there are still, I think, adapters you can buy from third-party sources to put different straps or even maybe a bracelet option for this. You have the metal keeper here. Typically not a fan of metal keepers, but this one has a nice stop to it so it stays in position. And then you have this buckle and tang system that loops the strap. It's a little tricky, but basically you're going to snap that down and you're going to go down in here. This thing stays super secure on wrist. So you're not going to have any problems with it coming loose on you or anything like that. But you could potentially get wrist claustrophobic getting it on and off. And I will attempt to do that right now. Let's see. On my 7 1/4 inch wrist, I've owned, I think, at least one of these, if not 2 of these in the past. Like I said, it's not something you necessarily wear a ton because it is a big boy, but it's remarkably comfortable on wrist. I don't know how to explain it. You have to get it kind of snug. You don't want to, because it will get top heavy on you, but it just wears fine. I mean, it kind of like how the larger G-Shocks just work. This one, it kind of has that same vibe, except for it has weight. So there you go. That could be a killer summer watch. Very serious looking diver. And then you can see this is where I sometimes struggle a little bit. I don't know. That was pretty pro. Okay, now let's give it a quick blast of the UV light. Price point on this $5.95. Like I said, reach out to Richard. Tell him I sent you. Maybe you can work a deal. Maybe. Killer lume, as you would expect from pretty much most of the Citizen divers that I've handled. You have a dual lume application, just a green pip. The rest of it's pretty much all blue. Don't see any deviation from that. So there is the quick look at this particular colorway. Oh, I didn't even say the model number. It's on the hang tag, but these hang tags are kind of hard to read. It's BJ8058-06L. It'll be in the description. Thanks for watching.